This is a rebroadcast of the Eau Claire School Board meeting. The audio for this program can be heard on WRFP LP 101.9 FM.
Call to order the special meeting for the Eau Claire School District. Let's please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Secretary Iverson, have we complied with the Opens Meetings Law notification?
Yes, we have.
All right. Could you do a roll call, please, to verify quorum?
You bet. Commissioner Spindler?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Cummins?
Here.
Commissioner Hombach-Boyle?
Here.
Commissioner Duax?
Here.
Commissioner Vu?
Here.
Commissioner Jean?
Here. Wonderful, thank you. So we will have an update on the final changes in the budget before we have the public hearing on it. So, Mr. Vandewater, are you ready?
Ready to go.
All right, great.
With Patty's assistance.
Yes, sir. Just get this one down. Do you want the other one first, Dan?
Please.
Okay.
Okay, as we expected, there wasn't not a lot of change between the budget that you adopted on October 6th and the budget that's before you tonight, or approved on October 6th, and the budget that's before you tonight to adopt. What I've got up here is the comparison between the two. We start out with the revenue limit in terms of the base revenue. That remains the same in the revenue limit computation. The approved budget looked at an adjustment for enrollment of $1,128,000. The final enrollment amount was higher than that by $245,000. If you scroll down, Patty, to the bottom, up a little bit, there you go. We had been projecting for the approved budget a number of 11,019, the three-year average. That wound up being 11,044 for an increase of 25. So not a lot, but it did influence the number a little bit. So let's scroll back up then. Okay. There you go. Transfer of service. Transfer of service are dollars that we get to add to the revenue limit when we have students with special needs or English language needs who come in from other Wisconsin school districts or from out of state. If we can document increased costs for those students, then we can claim that under revenue limits. For budget purposes, since we didn't know what that really is until the information comes back from the state, we had budgeted $100,518, which was last year's amount. We didn't have that much in terms of costs that we could claim this year, so it was only $10,800. So we had a decrease there of $89,620. And then the final component of the difference is an adjustment for rescinded taxes. This year, for the first time, the Department of Public Instruction is, well, I should back up. There are two types of tax payments, tax refunds, if you will, that happen during the year. Both are governed by statute. Essentially, both of them come about when taxpayers pay more than they are supposed to pay, and so they get those refunded to them. The state parsed that into the two sections of the law, so where we had it all in one, which would have been just an additional tax levy, they took $113,709 and said, no, you can factor that into your revenue limit calculation. So that was an increase in revenue limit. So the total revenue limit then was up $269,514 for the final calc. Just some of the points then, we knew that that state aid was going to need an adjustment. Very small amount, $13,007 less at the final gun compared to what we were looking at when it was adopted or approved. State computer aid changed slightly. The general tax fund levy then is up an additional $166,713. The use of working capital decreases. If you want to scroll down to the bottom, this is just a little proof that I do. I take the revenue limit increase, I subtract out the tax levy increase, I add the state aid decrease, and I subtract out the computer aid increase. I take into consideration the adjustment for rescinded taxes, and I should wind up with zero, which I do. So that kind of accounts for that. So that's kind of the crosswalk between approved and adopted. So if we go to the levy then, the actual calculation, this is what that shows. Now this compares the final this year to last year at this time. Okay, this year's adopted to last year's adopted. And you can see that the budget is balanced this year by using $1,971,946 worth of working capital, similar to last year. If you scroll down, Patty, we see then that the total levy is $56,973,918 compared to the $54,558,128. So if we scroll down farther, at the end of the day, we have a $3,405,790 increase in levy, total levy, which is 6.2%. The budget that you had approved was 5.9. We had a nice surprise when the October 15th aid was certified. 3.2% increase over last year. We've been looking at a number of years of decline, flat, so a 2.2 last year, a 3.2 this year. Perhaps we're seeing signs of hopefully some economic growth, because that's what drives that property value. So the tax levy this year does wind up being $9.86 or 29 cents, whereas that approved budget was looking at 50 cents. So from a tax rate standpoint, the tax rate is projected to increase 3%. And so that's good. It shows that that in terms of the tax burden, if you take the levy divided by the property value, if property value is increasing, that means there's a broader base to spread that levy over, and so it should be good news on average for the taxpayers in the district. So that's where the budget stands tonight that you are being asked to adopt.
Great, thank you. Any questions from board members? Okay, all right. So now we have the public hearing on the budget. Members of the public have up to 5 minutes each to comment on it. And this is the time for public comment. Neither the board nor administration will respond to questions. Anything from the public? Mark? He's good with it, all right. Okay. Right. All right, you're good with it too, good, okay. So now we'll adjourn the special meeting to the regular session, and we will have the individual considered resolution. And so what I need is a motion to adopt the 2014-2015 Eau Claire Area School District budget.
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
And we have a second. Any comments, questions? I'd just like to make one comment. I want to thank Dan especially for all the work on this, and all the staff who have put time in, as you say, zero base, starting from the bottom, working on this and keeping our budget tight. I really think all the staff, especially Dan and the superintendent, for keeping it going to make this work for us, considering our times. So that's the one comment I wanted to make. Commissioner Johnson.
I just want to make the comment that although last year we had anticipated going into working capital by almost $2 million, the budget actually came in under what was projected, so we didn't go into working capital last year. which makes it a little bit easier this year to anticipate going into working capital. Whether we do or come in under budget again, last year didn't deplete our working capital even more, and obviously we need that in order to make payroll and pay the bills throughout the year. So that is a bright spot.
Thank you. Yes, I think it says a lot about our district and our financial management of the district. We do a good job here. So, any other comments? Commissioner Hambuck-Boyle.
And along those lines, I wanted to just remark that the staff in the district helped build that budget, and it's their frugalness as well that contributes to that. So thank you, staff.
Okay, good. So if we could have a roll call vote on this, that would be great.
Commissioner Zhang,
Yes.
Commissioner Spindler,
Yes?
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cummins, Commissioner Hambuck-Boyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Duax,
Yes.
Commissioner Boo.
Yes.
Great, thank you. So now we will adjourn back into closed session where we will reconvene. Thank you for coming, Mark and others.
This program was recorded and presented by Chippewa Valley Community Television. Chippewa Valley Community Television is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, you can contact us by calling 715-839-5067 or on the web at www.cbctv.com.